What's up, Fire fam? My name's Kiahonfire, and welcome back to Conan Exiles. Today with me, I have Firespark, and we're going to be talking about trebuchets. So we're going to go over everything with the trebuchet, show you the new updates, and what is different with it.
We're also going to cover a bunch of stuff you probably already know, but we decided that since the trebuchet got a decent rework that we should probably just cover everything. So if we say, hey, look, it does this, and you're thinking to yourself, well, it's always done that. Yeah, we know. We're just covering all of the bases just in case someone comes along to, new to the game and picks it up after this horse patch, because it's probably going to draw in some people. They understand, and it's basically a full guide to the trebuchet.
So what we have set up here is I'm in one clan, Fire is in the other, and we have 3 different types of wall. We have tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. So I'm going to be shooting at the wall, and Firespark will be checking the damage of every boulder or demon fire orb that we shoot at these 3 different types of wall. But first, we're going to be talking about the trebuchet. We're going to be going over the different angles and different things that you can do, different crafting costs, and what is exactly new with this piece of equipment. If you were used to trebuchets before, you're probably going to notice the crafting cost of the boulder is now different. It used to be 25 stone and 10 twine, but now it's 250 stone per boulder. The Demon Fire Barrage is the other option that you can make in this trebuchet, and you can learn that under your explosive feats. But basically, if you want to make the explosives, you need a Fireball Cauldron, and that should be able to make the bombs for these actual siege barrages. So that's the 2 explosive jars and 10 twine.
So I just want to point out for all those people who are worried about the trebuchets being crazy OP, you are going to see that they balance them out with that additional cost to the boulder, because it was a heck of a lot cheaper before, and now it's going to, where before you were constantly grinding to repair the trebuchet in between firing, you don't have to do that anymore. Now you're just going to be grinding a lot more for the ammo to fire it. So this lever here is the lever that will adjust your angle, and what we're going to do is we're just going to max out the weight. So we're at 100% of our firing range, basically 100% weight, and we're going to just go through each of the angles here to show you what it looks like firing at each of those angles. We're not going to be aiming at the wall. We may or may not hit the wall as we're going through these, but we just want to show you how far each of these fires and where they fire at, so that when you're trying to dial in, it'll just help you dial in your shots that much easier.
So we're going to start this with maximum fire angle. So that is 80% on the trebuchet. Once you've crafted whatever medium you're using as ammo in this thing, so in this instance we have boulders, you want to reload it at the front, then come towards the back and pull the lever. So once your trebuchet is reloaded and ready to go, you want to pull this stick right in front of me, as you can see right here. And basically this will launch it the angle that you have set it to. So in this instance, that is 80%. And it goes pretty far up, but it will drop pretty short distance towards you. So if you wanted to hit a really high base, then you could very well nail it from here.
Yeah, all those high spire bases, you are now doomed-ish. You'll see what I mean by that when I start showing you the damage that these things actually do.
So now we're going to be moving the firing angle to -25, which is the lesser one that you can set for this trebuchet. We're going to have to reload it again. Every time you want to shoot, you got to reload it at the front. And once you're done with that, hit the lever. So this is our lowest amount. Doesn't go very far at all. So now I'm just going to show you a mid comparison. This is at 10% here, and we're going to shoot it again. 10 degrees firing angle, going to reload the trebuchet and show you how far this will go. And there you go, you got quite a good shot. It goes quite far, and it's probably going to be the more ideal kind of degree.
Okay, we have it dialed in, and we are aiming at the sandstone here, and you're going to be seeing from Kiah's point of view, but I want you to pay attention to the variation in where the boulder hits. Well, she hit relatively low on the wall that we have here, probably about 4 foundations up. It's going to vary where that boulder hits, so it may or may not hit the sandstone foundation, or it may actually can go as far as over to the tier 2 foundation we have here, or it could miss the sandstone foundations completely because of where she hit there. There's a lot of variation in the boulder, and yeah, we know that's a thing, but I just want to point it out so that you know that once you get dialed in, you may not always be hitting the same spot, and that's going to have an effect on how much you're going to have to grind for ammo because they don't do as much damage as you would like them to do.
Alright, so we're going to try again and hit the sandstone part at 15 degrees. Here we go, looks like this one's going to hit.
Okay, so she hit one foundation there. So the sandstone is 10,000. It brought it down to 3,494. So, and that was only one. There is no splash damage for those boulders anymore. So you're looking at using a lot of ammo just to take out one area because her chances of hitting that same spot on the next shot are pretty slim. So you want to go ahead and fire, and we'll just demonstrate that.
Yep, we'll keep firing.
Here we go. Here comes the second boulder, and she hit the one next to it this time, doing the same amount of damage, bringing it down from 10,000 to 3,494. So that had she hit the exact same foundation, she would have taken a chunk out of the wall. But because the Trebuchet doesn't have a specific firing area and it kind of just fires in a large AoE, or I should say the boulder can land in a large AoE depending on where you're firing at, it's going to take a lot of ammo to bust through something. And with that increase in ammo cost, you're going to be grinding a lot if you're going to be sieging with boulders.
So now instead of the sandstone, we're going to aim for the tier 2. Same 15 degrees, just at a different angle.
All right, that was a direct hit. Brought it down from 50,000 to 43,494. So you can see the damage there is pretty much the same. It's going to take you a ton of boulders to get through even a tier 2.
So now we're going to attempt to hit the tier 3 and see how much damage we do.
Okay, direct hit. It brought the tier 3 from 100,000 HP down to 93,493. So yeah, I don't even know if it's going to be worth using the boulders to try to break into a tier 3 building.
So as you can see, the siege boulder isn't really good for any of the other tiers but sandstone. But luckily for you guys, we have another alternative, and that would be the Kiahonfire Barrage. Not only does it hit quite powerful, it also has spread fire damage when it hits your surface. Now this might look quite expensive, but if you're in a clan, it's pretty easy to gather all this material, and basically, it's going to be that or the 250 stone. And at the end of the day, you're going to be farming the same, if a little bit more time for the boulders than the bombs. So using the bombs is way better to use than the boulders in the first place. So when switching ammo, make sure to put your item of choice into the top slot there so it will shoot properly at your target.
You're just going to get a lot more bang for your buck with these. So there is a massive AoE damage that these things do, and then they light the building on fire and they just do a ton of damage. So if we take a look here, there's a just massive AoE damage. So where it hit brought the sandstone down to 3,429. The tier 2, the stone brick, down to 39,000 there. 46,000. A lot of this sandstone, like if you hit close to the same spot on sandstone, it's only going to take you 2 demon fires to bring down a chunk of a sandstone wall. It'll take you a few more than 2 to bring down tier 2. However, it's not going to take you as many to bring down a tier 2 with the demon fire as it will the just normal boulders.
So here we go again, shooting our second load of demon fire.
And that hit was almost in the same spot. You can see that it just completely devastated the tier 1 foundations there. And if we take a look at the tier 2, they're still burning, but one more hit on this wall or spot right here, actually anywhere in this area, is probably going to take out the tier 2. You want to fire one more and just push it slightly to the right.
Gonna fire.
All right, so that was the third demon fire in the same spot, and you can see there that it's starting to bring down the wall. So it takes about 3 hits in the same spot, which is not as easy as you may think it is because of the variation in where it lands to bring down the tier 2 foundations. So all in all, if they're aiming at your tier 2 base, it may only take 3 to bring down the tier 2 foundations, but they're going to waste way more than that because their chances of hitting 3 in a row in the same spot are pretty slim. Okay, so that one hit the tier 3, so we can now show you how much damage the tier 3 took as soon as it's done burning. I'll give you the numbers. All right, so we're looking at 84,000, 87, 93, 88. So the tier 3 is definitely going to take a pretty good beating. So if you've built your base out of tier 3 and somebody wants to siege you, and I know a lot of people are upset about the change to the god bubbles and that they won't protect you from being sieged by trebs anymore, you can see that it's going to take a little bit of work and effort. They're going to have to put effort into bringing down a tier 3. And while that may not be what you necessarily want to hear, if you make it a couple layers thick, if your base is a couple layers and you do stuff like honeycomb and stuff like that, it's going to take a ton of effort for them to just break through the first layer.
So in the long run, if you're a PvP base owner, then you are definitely going to want to layer your walls.
Yeah. Okay, we finally broke it on the 10th hit. We finally lost a chunk over here. So 10 demon fires in all, or 10 demon fires direct hit. There was about 15 in all fired with 10 direct hits.
Just beware with the demon fire as well. It's going to do a spread damage, so if you have walls directly behind, it's most likely going to hit those as well as the front. So make sure you add a little bit of space in between, otherwise it's just going to ruin whatever close kind of method of building you've done. So we've estimated with our test, it will take you about 2 demon fire barrages for a tier 1 to break the wall. It will take you 4 demon fire barrages for a tier 2 wall, and it will take you 10 demon fire barrages for a tier 3 wall, and these are direct hits. So PvPers out there, lay your walls, stay safe, and hopefully you won't get blown up this season. I want to say a special thank you to Firespark for collaborating with me on this video. It really did help out well. Make sure to give him some love in his channel, give him a sub, you know, all that lovely stuff. And thank you for watching. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!